The massive alien ship hung in Earth's orbit like a dark cloud blocking out the stars. Its sleek, metallic surface reflected the sun's rays, creating an intimidating display of power that made everyone on Earth hold their breath. This was humanity's first official contact with the Galactic Council, and everything had gone terribly wrong. Inside the United Nations Emergency Chamber, world leaders watched in stunned silence as the holographic message from High Commander Gray played again. The alien's tall, gray-skinned figure stood before them, its four eyes blinking in what seemed like disappointment. After careful analysis by our advanced intelligence systems, Gray's translated voice echoed through the chamber. We have determined that humans are too unpredictable and potentially dangerous to join the galactic community. Your species makes decisions based on emotions rather than logic. You fight amongst yourselves, yet unite against outside threats. You destroy your environment, yet show remarkable ability to survive in harsh conditions. These contradictions make you a threat to galactic stability. General Robert Smith, Earth's military representative, clenched his fists under the table. 30 years of military service hadn't prepared him for this moment. They're judging our entire species based on computer calculations, he whispered to Dr. Linda Wells, Earth's chief scientist. Linda nodded, her eyes fixed on the data streaming across her tablet. Their AI doesn't understand us. It sees our adaptability as a flaw, not a strength. The hologram continued. Therefore, by order of the Galactic Council, Earth and all its colonial outposts will be placed under quarantine. No space travel beyond your solar system will be permitted. No communication with other civilizations will be allowed. This is not a punishment, but a safety measure until your species evolves beyond its primitive emotional responses. President Thompson stood up, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. High Commander Gray, we request a chance to prove ourselves. Humanity has made great strides in. The decision is final. Gray interrupted. Our AI's predictions are never wrong. Resistance will only prove our point about your species' irrationality. The hologram flickered out, leaving the chamber in tense silence. Outside, the alien ships had already begun setting up the quarantine barrier, a shimmering field of energy that would trap humanity within their own solar system. In the Mars colony, miners watched as alien vessels positioned themselves around the red planet. Director Tom Russell gathered his team in the main dome, their faces illuminated by the emergency lights. They think they're containing us, he said, looking at the worried faces around him. But they don't understand what humans do when backed into a corner. Back on Earth, in a secret underground facility, Dr. Anna began analyzing the alien technology they'd managed to study during the brief period of diplomatic relations. Engineer Mike worked beside her, taking apart a small alien communication device. Look at this, Anna said, pointing to her screen. Their entire civilization runs on pure logic. Their AI makes all major decisions. They've removed emotion from the equation entirely. Mike looked up from his work. That's their weakness, isn't it? They can't understand anything that doesn't follow their logical patterns. Exactly, Anna replied, a small smile forming on her face. They think they're studying us, but they're showing us exactly who they are, and what they can't understand. They can't predict. Mike finished her thought. In orbit, Captain James watched from the bridge of the EDF Defender as the quarantine barrier completed its formation. His crew stood at their stations, awaiting orders. The alien ships dwarfed their vessel, but James remembered something his old commander once told him. Size isn't everything. The smallest ant can still ruin a picnic. Orders, sir, his first officer asked. James straightened his uniform. We observe, we learn, we adapt. That's what humans do best. He looked at his crew, seeing not defeat in their eyes, but determination. They think they're teaching us a lesson, but they're about to learn something about the human spirit. And I have a feeling it's going to be a very hard lesson indeed. The alien ships continued their patrol, their AI systems monitoring for any sign of rebellion. But they couldn't monitor what they couldn't understand. the indomitable human spirit that had carried the species through countless challenges. The quarantine wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. 6 months into the quarantine, Earth faced its first major crisis. The global weather control satellites suddenly failed, causing extreme weather patterns across the planet. Storms ravaged coastal cities, while inland regions suffered from unexpected droughts. The alien ships watched from orbit, their presence a constant reminder of humanity's containment. Captain James stood at the window of his office in the Earth Defense Force headquarters, watching another violent storm approach. Something about these disasters didn't feel right. His years of military experience had taught him to trust his instincts, and right now, they were screaming that this was more than bad luck. "Captain," Lieutenant Amy called from the doorway. "You need to see this." She handed him a tablet containing data from their long-range scanners. "We've detected energy signatures just before each weather anomaly. They're coming from the alien barrier." James studied the readings, his expression hardening. "They're testing us," he said quietly, "creating artificial crises to see how we respond." He looked at the lieutenant. "Have you shown this to anyone else?" "No, sir. I came straight to you." "Good. Get me a secure line to Dr. Linda Wells at the Science Division." In her underground laboratory, Linda received James's call while analyzing the latest weather patterns. Her team had already noticed something strange about these disasters. They were too precise, too targeted. "The aliens aren't just watching us," Linda explained to James over the secure line. "They're running experiments. Each crisis is designed to test a different aspect of human society. The coastal storms test our emergency response. The droughts test our resource management." "And how are we doing?" James asked. Linda smiled. "Better than they expected. Every time they create a problem, humans find new ways to adapt. Coastal cities have developed rapid deployment flood barriers. Drought-hit regions are using new water recycling technologies. We're not just surviving their tests, we're learning from them." Meanwhile, in one of the worst-hit areas, a small town in the Midwest faced both storms and drought. The local community, led by Bill, the town mayor, had turned the crisis into an opportunity. They converted an abandoned shopping mall into a combination shelter and hydroponic farm. "They thought this would break us," Bill told a group of volunteers as they set up another row of indoor crops. "Instead, we're growing food in places we never thought possible. We're housing 300 people who lost their homes to the storms. We're stronger together than we ever were apart." The aliens observed all of this from their ships, their AI struggling to process the unexpected human responses. High Commander Gray reviewed the latest reports with growing concern. "The humans are not following predicted behavior patterns," Gray told the Galactic Council during an emergency meeting. "When faced with resource shortages, they share rather than compete. When faced with disasters, they innovate rather than despair. Their responses defy logical analysis." In orbit, a junior alien scientist named Blue made a note in their personal log. "Humans appear to become more resourceful under pressure. Each crisis intended to weaken them instead makes them stronger. Perhaps our AI's inability to predict their responses indicates a flaw in our understanding, not in their species." Back on Earth, Captain James called an emergency meeting with military and scientific leaders. The room was packed as he shared their discovery about the alien tests. "They think they're studying our weaknesses," he told the assembled group. "But they're actually showing us theirs. Every crisis they create teaches us more about their technology, their thinking patterns, and their limitations." Dr. Linda stood up. "Their AI can't understand human creativity or emotional bonds. It sees our community spirit as an error in its calculations. But that's exactly what makes us dangerous to them. We can think in ways their computers never will." As another storm raged outside, the leaders of humanity began to plan. The aliens had wanted to test human resilience, and now they would learn exactly what that meant. In labs, bunkers, and converted shelters across the planet, humans weren't just surviving. They were preparing. "Send word to all our hidden outposts," James ordered. Tell them to watch for patterns in the alien tests. Every crisis they create is a chance to learn their weaknesses. They think they're breaking our spirit, but they're just teaching us how to fight back. The storm outside grew stronger, but inside, humanity's determination grew even stronger. The breaking point hadn't broken them. It had only made them more resolved. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a repurposed Cold War bunker, Dr. Anna and engineer Mike worked tirelessly in their makeshift laboratory. Scattered across their workbenches were pieces of alien technology, parts from a crashed scout ship, damaged barrier generators, and various devices left behind during the initial diplomatic meetings. "Look at this," Mike said, holding up a small crystal that glowed with a faint blue light. "It's not just a power source. It's also a computer." They'd found a way to store both energy and information in the same crystal structure. Anna looked up from her computer screen, where complex alien code scrolled endlessly. And that's not all. Their entire technology is based on perfect mathematical patterns. No room for variance or adaptation. It's incredibly advanced, but also incredibly rigid. Their breakthrough came at 3 a.m., when most of the facility was asleep. Anna had been running simulations of human decision-making patterns against the alien eyes' predictions when she noticed something strange. "Mike," she called out, her voice echoing through the empty lab. "I think I've found their blind spot. Look at these results." Mike rushed over, coffee cup in hand. On the screen, two simulations ran side by side. One showed the logical, predicted response to a crisis. The other showed actual human responses, based on data from the recent weather disasters. "The AI can't process human improvisation," Anna explained, pointing to where the patterns diverge. "When we do something creative, something that doesn't follow logical protocols, it registers as an error in their system. They're so advanced that they've lost the ability to think outside their own rules." Above ground, Captain James received their findings with growing excitement. He gathered his most trusted officers in a secure room, making sure all electronic devices were left outside to avoid alien detection. "What Dr. Anna and engineer Mike have discovered changes everything," he told the group. "The aliens aren't just studying us. They're trying to understand us through their eye. But their eye has a critical weakness. It can't understand human unpredictability." Lieutenant Amy raised her hand. "How do we use this information, sir?" James smiled. "We do what humans do best. We get creative." Across the planet, hidden resistance cells began implementing James's plan. In Australia, a group of farmers started using old-fashioned radio signals to communicate, knowing the aliens would ignore such primitive technology. In Brazil, engineers worked on modifying weather balloons to scan the alien barrier's weak points. In Africa, a team of programmers developed chaotic algorithms that mimicked human unpredictability. Back in the underground lab, Anna and Mike made another crucial discovery. They had been studying a damaged piece of the alien barrier technology when Mike accidentally dropped it. Instead of breaking, the device reconfigured itself, but something was different. The crystal's pattern changed. Anna observed, scanning the device. It adapted to the damage. But, wait a minute. She checked her readings again. "Mike, what if we could make our own crystals? Not perfect like theirs, but deliberately imperfect." Mike's eyes widened as he understood. They wouldn't be as powerful, but they'd be able to do something alien technology can't: evolve and adapt. Word of their discoveries spread through secure channels to resistance cells worldwide. Humans began gathering materials, setting up hidden workshops, and preparing for what Captain James called Operation Crystal Storm. In orbit, the alien ships continued their patrol, their AI systems processing endless streams of data about human behavior. But they couldn't detect what was happening beneath the surface: the growing network of resistance, the development of hybrid human-alien technology, and most importantly, the unbreakable spirit that drove humanity forward. High Commander Gray received another report of anomalous human behavior. "Their responses continue to defy our predictions. They told the council. Perhaps we should increase the severity of our tests. The council agreed, not realizing they were about to push humanity exactly where they needed to be, to the point where improvisation and determination would prove stronger than any advanced technology. Commander Pete stood at the helm of his small cargo ship, watching the massive alien patrol vessel pass by. His ship, the Star Runner, looked like just another piece of space debris, its hull covered in asteroid dust, its power systems running at minimal levels. The alien ship's sensors swept over them, but detected nothing unusual. Status. Pete whispered to his engineer, Jack, who monitored their modified systems from a hidden compartment. Their scan passed right through us, Jack replied quietly. The crystal shielding worked perfectly. As far as their AI is concerned, we're just another chunk of rock. This was the fourth successful run through the quarantine barrier, and each trip became more daring than the last. What had started as a desperate attempt to maintain contact between Earth and its outer colonies had evolved into a sophisticated network of hidden routes and secret outposts. In the rings of Saturn, hidden among millions of ice chunks, humanity had built its first major outpost beyond the barrier. The base, nicknamed Ice Haven, was invisible to alien scans thanks to the modified crystals developed by Anna and Mike. Inside, hundreds of humans worked to expand their hidden network. Another supply run successful, Pete announced as his ship docked at Ice Haven. The station's commander, Lisa, waited in the hangar with her team. They quickly unloaded the cargo, more crystal materials, technical data, and most importantly, news from Earth. The aliens still don't suspect anything. Lisa asked as they walked to the command center. Pete shook his head. Their eye is so focused on looking for logical escape attempts that they miss the obvious. We're hiding right where they can see us, just not in ways their computers understand. In the station's research lab, scientists studied the peculiar properties of Saturn's rings. They had discovered that the ice particles created natural interference patterns that could hide their activities. It was exactly the kind of chaotic, natural phenomenon that the alien eye struggled to analyze. Nature itself is helping us, one scientist explained to Pete. The rings aren't uniform or predictable. They're constantly changing, just like us. The aliens' perfect technology can't handle that kind of beautiful chaos. Back on Earth, Captain James received encrypted reports from all the hidden outposts. Humanity had established bases in asteroid fields, within gas giant storms, and even in the corona of the sun, places where natural phenomena created the perfect cover for their activities. They thought the quarantine would trap us, James told his officers during a secret meeting. Instead, it forced us to become more creative than ever. We're not just surviving in space, we're thriving in places they never thought to look. The breakthrough came when a mining team, led by engineer Tom, discovered a way to use the crystal technology to harvest energy from solar flares. The aliens considered such attempts suicide, their AI calculating a 100% failure rate for any ship approaching solar storms. They don't understand that humans have always done the impossible, Tom reported back to Earth. We look at a deadly solar flare and see an opportunity. We see an asteroid field and think perfect hiding spot. We take their assumptions about what's possible and prove them wrong every time. In orbit around Jupiter, another human outpost monitored alien communications. They had learned to hide their signals in the planet's natural radio emissions, something the aliens dismissed as background noise. The humans weren't just escaping the quarantine. They were building an entire civilization right under the aliens' noses. Commander Pete prepared for another run through the barrier, his ship once again disguised as debris. As he looked out at the vast expanse of space, he couldn't help but smile. The aliens had given humanity the ultimate challenge, and in doing so, they had pushed humans to achieve things they never thought possible. Ready for another impossible mission? He asked his crew. Always, Jack replied, powering up their hidden systems. After all, Impossible is what humans do best. The red dust of Mars swirled around the colony's protective domes as Director Tom watched alien ships descend from orbit. The Galactic Council had finally lost patience with what they called the Mars anomaly, the colony's unexplained ability to maintain high productivity despite the quarantine's resource restrictions. "They're coming to investigate," Tom announced over the colony's internal communication system. "Everyone knows what to do. Remember, act defeated, act tired, act exactly how their AI expects desperate humans to behave." The colony's 5,000 residents had prepared for this moment. On the surface, everything looked run down and struggling. Mining equipment lay partially abandoned, covered in red dust. Hydroponic gardens showed signs of failing crops. It was exactly what the aliens expected to see, except it was all carefully staged. High Commander Gray personally led the inspection team. Their 4 eyes scanned the facility as Tom gave them a tour, showing them exactly what they wanted to see: a struggling human colony on the brink of collapse. As you can observe, Gray spoke to their council members through a comlink. "The humans are finally showing the expected signs of resource deprivation. Their emotional resistance to logical necessity is breaking down." But Gray made a crucial mistake. They didn't look down. Beneath their feet, in vast underground chambers built by repurposed mining machines, the real Mars colony thrived. Huge hydroponic gardens produced food. Recycling systems, far more advanced than the aliens suspected humans capable of building, maintained perfect resource efficiency. And most importantly, hidden workshops contained rows of the modified crystals that would soon change everything. "Team leaders, report," Tom whispered into his hidden communicator as he led the aliens through another display of apparent human desperation. "Workshop 1, ready," came the first response. "Workshop 2, ready. Workshop 3, ready." All across the colony, humans waited in hidden positions. The aliens had walked right into what looked like a simple inspection, but was actually a carefully planned trap. In orbit, alien sensors detected nothing unusual. Their AI systems, programmed to look for logical patterns of rebellion, completely missed the chaotic but coordinated human activity happening beneath the surface. "Take us to your primary mining operation," Gray demanded, following their AI's suggestion to investigate the colony's main resource center. "Of course," Tom replied, leading them toward the largest crater. "Though I should warn you, our equipment has seen better days." As they approached the main mining complex, Gray's sensors detected something unusual. But before they could analyze it, the ground began to shake. What the aliens saw next defied their AI's predictions entirely. The abandoned mining equipment suddenly came to life. But instead of digging into Mars, the machines transformed. Hydraulic arms became weapons. Drilling platforms became defensive positions. Every piece of equipment the aliens had dismissed as primitive revealed hidden modifications that their scans had never detected. "Impossible," Gray stammered, watching as their trap became a trap for them instead. "Our analysis showed your technology was failing. Your resources were depleted." Tom smiled for the first time since the inspection began. "That's the problem with only believing what your eye tells you. You see what you expect to see." Across the colony, hidden doors opened in the Martian soil. Humans emerged wearing environment suits powered by the same crystal technology the aliens thought they couldn't possibly understand. The mining colony had become a fortress, and the aliens were caught completely off guard. "This is Director Tom of Mars Colony 1. He broadcast on all frequencies, informing Earth Defense Force that Operation Sandstorm is now active. The Council's inspection team is contained." In orbit, the alien ships found themselves suddenly surrounded by defense systems that had been hidden in plain sight, disguised as mineral processing stations. Every piece of primitive human mining equipment concealed a surprise that their eye had never considered possible. High Commander Gray looked at Tom, their 4 eyes wide with disbelief. "You planned this. All of it. The signs of failure, the desperation. It was all a deception." No, Tom corrected them. It was a lesson about why you should never underestimate human ingenuity. Strategic Officer Kate stood in the Earth Defense Force Command Center, watching as hundreds of green dots appeared on the main screen. Each dot represented a hidden human outpost or ship revealing itself across the solar system. The Mars colony's success had triggered humanity's coordinated counterattack. Status report. Captain James called out, standing beside her. All units reporting ready, Kate replied. The alien AI is trying to analyze our pattern of emergence, but there is no pattern. Every unit is acting randomly within our planned chaos strategy. This was Kate's masterstroke, a battle plan that looked like no battle plan at all. Ships appeared from asteroid fields, then disappeared again. Bases activated and went dark in seemingly random sequences. The alien AI struggled to predict where the next threat would come from because there was no logical pattern to predict. Their ships are moving to respond, an officer reported, but they're splitting up, trying to chase multiple targets at once. Kate smiled. The aliens' biggest weakness was their reliance on AI-driven tactics. They couldn't accept that the apparent chaos around them was actually carefully orchestrated by human minds. In orbit around Jupiter, Commander Pete's fleet emerged from hiding in the gas giant storms. His ships, modified with the crystal technology, rode the violent winds like surfers on waves. The alien vessels trying to pursue them were tossed about helplessly. They still don't understand, Pete radioed back to Earth. They think space should be conquered with pure power. We learn to dance with it instead. The Council's fleet found itself in disarray. Their formations, perfect for traditional space combat, were useless against an enemy that attacked from inside solar flares, used asteroid fields as cover, and treated the deadly storms of gas giants as highways for their ships. At the Mars colony, Director Tom had secured the captured High Commander Gray in a special chamber designed to block their communications with the Council's eye. Watch, Tom told Gray, pointing to a screen showing the battle. This is what happens when you dismiss emotion as a weakness. Gray's 4 eyes blinked in confusion. But there is no logic to your attacks. No mathematical perfection. How can you coordinate without precise AI guidance? We don't need every move to be perfect, Tom explained. We just need to believe in each other and adapt to whatever happens. That's humanity's real strength. In the hidden base at Saturn's rings, Dr. Anna and Engineer Mike completed the final adjustments to their new weapon, a device that could disrupt the aliens' crystal-based technology by introducing controlled imperfections into their perfect patterns. Ready to broadcast, Anna reported to Earth Command. Captain James gave the order. Execute Operation Wildcard. Across the solar system, human ships and bases activated their disruption devices. The effect on the alien fleet was immediate. Their perfect formations began to falter as their AI systems encountered errors they couldn't process. Kate watched from the command center as alien ships started to drift, their crews forced to rely on manual control for the first time in generations. They'd forgotten how to operate without their eye, she observed. But we never forgot how to think for ourselves. The Council's response fleet found itself in chaos. Their ships, designed to operate as part of an eye-controlled network, now had to function independently. Some alien crews adapted, showing individual initiative for the first time. Others remained paralyzed, waiting for AI instructions that would never come. Send the message, James ordered. Kate activated the global communication system. Her voice reached every alien ship in the solar system. Attention Galactic Council forces. Your AI systems will remain disrupted until you agree to negotiations. This time, you'll talk to us as equals, not through your computers, but face to face. Your technology may be advanced, but today you've learned that the human spirit is more powerful than any AI. In the Mars colony holding chamber, High Commander Gray watched the screen with all 4 eyes wide open, finally beginning to understand that they had gravely underestimated humanity's greatest strength, the ability to be unpredictable, emotional, and absolutely unstoppable when united against a common threat. The grand meeting chamber of the Galactic Council's main ship had never seen anything quite like this. Instead of holographic projections and AI interfaces, humans and aliens sat face to face around a large round table. High Commander Gray, recently released from Mars, sat with their fellow council members, while Captain James led the human delegation. "Your species has proven us wrong," Gray admitted, their voice carrying a new tone of respect. "Our AI predicted you would break under pressure. Instead, you became stronger." Dr. Anna and Engineer Mike stood near a display showing their modified crystal technology. "We didn't just copy your technology," Anna explained. "We improved it. Your crystals are perfect, but inflexible. Ours are imperfect, but adaptable." The alien scientists in the room moved closer to examine the human modifications. Their four eyes widened as they understood the implications. Humans hadn't just survived the quarantine. They had taken advanced alien technology and made it better by making it less perfect. "But how did you coordinate such complex operations without central AI guidance?" one council member asked. Strategic Officer Kate stepped forward. "We used something your AI could never understand: trust." Every human commander had the freedom to make their own decisions within our overall plan. We didn't need every action to be perfect. We just needed everyone to adapt and work together. From the viewing windows of the chamber, Earth shone bright and blue. The quarantine barrier was gone now, dismantled after the Council acknowledged their error. Human ships moved freely through space, many of them helping alien crews learn to operate their vessels without total AI dependence. "Your AI made a fundamental mistake," Captain James explained. "It saw our emotions as a weakness, our creativity as a flaw, our ability to improvise as a sign of primitive thinking. But these are actually our greatest strengths." Commander Pete, fresh from his fleet's operations in Jupiter's storms, added, "You try to understand us through pure logic. That's like trying to understand a dance by measuring the distance between steps. Some things can't be reduced to numbers and patterns." In orbit around Mars, Director Tom was already working with alien engineers to combine their technologies in new ways. The colony's hidden facilities had become centers of cooperation, where humans taught aliens about adaptation while learning from their advanced knowledge. "Perhaps," Gray suggested, "it is we who need to evolve. We became so dependent on perfect logic that we forgot the value of imperfection." The council chamber grew quiet as Gray stood and made a formal announcement. "The quarantine is officially ended. Earth and its colonies are recognized as full members of the galactic community. Furthermore, we request human assistance in helping our civilizations rediscover the balance between logic and emotion." James stepped forward to shake Gray's hand, a human gesture that the alien commander had learned to appreciate. "We accept, but on one condition," James said. "Your AI systems must be reformed. No species should be judged solely by computer calculations." "Agreed," Gray replied. "We have learned that the most advanced AI cannot match the power of the human spirit." As the meeting concluded, Dr. Linda Wells, who had first noticed the flaws in the alien ice predictions, shared a final observation. "The irony is that by trying to break our spirit, they helped us prove just how unbreakable it is. Sometimes the hardest challenges bring out the best in humanity." Outside the council chamber, human and alien crews mingled together, sharing stories and learning from each other. The stars seemed brighter now, full of new possibilities. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not by being perfect, but by being perfectly human, creative, adaptable, emotional, and unstoppable when united. High Commander Gray made one final entry in their personal log. "In trying to teach humanity a lesson, we learned one instead. The most powerful force in the universe isn't perfect technology or flawless logic. It's the indomitable spirit of a species that refuses to be broken, no matter the odds."